What do you think to this lighting? I've been trying different setups and stuff. This one, I think, it looks reasonable. It's only one light to set up there. What I've been doing is playing with this one. It's a little portable light here. I had power on that. Just been playing with putting this places and seeing how this looks. Anyway, that's probably not why you're here, but it's something that I'm interested in. I'm trying to improve. So for today, what the plan is, I've rearranged everything, don't know where my stuff is. The plan is for some heel elevated squats. So this is week 2. Last week, I managed one set. I think one set with 20 kilos. Now, when I first set up the garage gym, I didn't want to have the mats inside here because of the ledge there. I don't know if you can see it, but now that I can't squat much, it doesn't really matter. It's not heavy enough that it's any kind of issue. So anyway, with that said, I should probably do the first set, shouldn't I? Actually, I'll see what I did last week. So this is ASC Performance app. So heel elevated squat. Look, last week, excellent. There's nothing on my history. Oh, because I didn't track it as a heel elevated squat. I tracked it as a normal squat. Anyway, I'll have a look and see. Let's just do the first set and get it over with. I forgot to do the intro thing. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Adam Sawyers. Yes, real medical doctor. I am a not very good powerlifter and an exceptional online strength coach. And I say that because I'm currently recovering from a bilateral quadriceps tendon tear rupture. Basically, both my quads exploded. So I've instantly lost nearly 300 kilos off my total. So that's why I'm not very good. Now these videos are my log on the way back to 600 total. So what that'll look like is probably 120 squat, 180 bench, 300 deadlift, something like that. Hence the super unimpressive loads, but they need doing. So with that said, I'm going to have a look and see what this one looked like with that light. The other thing with this I quite like is you can, obviously it's portable, you can change how bright the colour tone of it. So that's you can call it warmer and colder, and then you can change the intensity. Anyway, I'm going to have a look at that set. I will see you in a minute. Definitely deep enough. Thing is with these, right, the actual quad strength is not the limiting factor right now. It's just discomfort, it's pain. So I'm trying to do them in such a way that it's controlled, but I'm trying... Scared is a strong word, but I think it's the most appropriate word. If I'm trying to not be scared, not be worried about my quads, and just be like, your quads are fine, don't worry about it. But it's easier said than done. So that's why I'm not trying to be reckless at all, but I am still trying to encourage myself to go a bit faster than I'd like to. between sets, messing about with the lighting until I find a setup that I'm happy with. I honestly just don't know. So if you're someone who's watching this, and you know things about this, let me know. I'm very interested to see how I can improve it. I can sort it out for like single shot stuff, that's fine. Like talking head stuff. But for the training stuff, it's trying to make it so that it don't need to look like full-blown, high-quality cinematic production. I'll probably at some point just hire somebody to come and start doing that if that became financially viable. But it just wants to look good enough that you can see the stuff that you need to. And yeah, that's it. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite happy with the rearranging of the garage. I just need to sort out some of this flooring. I don't even know if you can see it actually. And then, yeah, start cranking the videos out. That'll be it in terms of my top set for today. So last week was 20 for between 5 and 10. I can't remember. So 20 for 10, 30 for 5, 40 for 5. That's it for today. Not going to push it crazy amount. It is only week number 2. Just going to do a couple of sets of split squats. Light the other way with that little light isn't as good as backwards. So all I'm doing now is I'm just tracking those sets on here. So we've got 20 for 10, 30 for 5, and then this just wants to be 40 for 5. RPE on that. It's still easy, so I'm going to keep it at the 5. To be honest, I'm not going to put the RPE on the other 2 sets. And then next I'm going to go to split squats. So for these, last week, I've got 1.4 and 1.8. So the rationale for that is, the one sort of problem with this is there's not currently, that made me jump, there's not currently a way to put a negative weight on a like normal exercise. But what I can do is put fractionals on, or you can make, so there's my own exercises in there. So this, for example, is down as a split squat variation. So what I've done is I put 1.4 kilos. Obviously I'm not split squatting 1.4 kilos. This is 40. So it's to let me know that I've done it on a negative. And yes, I know this isn't doing anything. It's just holding it in position. Anyway, let's see how this goes. The last time I did this for sets of 8, so today I'm going to do it for sets of 10. And between the sets, just going to put these weights away as well. So after this, I'm going to go into my push session, and then I'm going to go to the gym and finish off. This is the side that sucks. I think actually feels all right. was 8. So the nice thing about this is it's actually fairly quick to progress with the leg stuff when I start doing it again. So obviously, well, not obviously, because what I keep having to remind myself is a lot of people watch them in isolation. They don't tend to keep up with the whole story. So the first thing is shame on you, you should keep up with the whole story. And second thing, which is a more realistic thing, is that if you're not keeping up with the story, I didn't do much up until last week for about a month or so. I'm going to put the big light on now and see what the difference is like with light in these. And then when we get to some like slightly heavier stuff, I'll start to get into some topics. I don't know what the title of today's video will be. Probably depend on what I talk about. No, other side first. Oh, that is, it probably looks easy. It does not feel easy, but still enjoyable. What I did, so because I rearranged this stuff, I don't know if you can see all the way back here, but the bench is laid across the garage door, and it's pitch black when I came out, so I walked straight into it. That's fun. But I just, whilst I was over there getting some plates out, I turned around and turned straight into the plate holder and banged my head. So I'm fairly sure I'm leaking blood everywhere and I'm going to pass out at any point in the next 5 minutes. Obviously not actually. But yeah, so that was fun. Let's get these in. This sound will be horrible for you. So last week I did 80 for 2 sets of 6. This week, you know what? My memory is terrible. Last week I did 80 for 2 sets of 8. You can see it on here. But this week I'm going to do 85 for 2 sets of 8 and then 80 for an AMRAP. So I didn't do the AMRAP last week because it's only week 1, so there's not a right lot of point. I didn't need the extra work and I know that strength has gone up. Whereas these AMRAPs are a good indication of the way strength is trending. So I would say that's like RPE maybe like 7. It's pretty easy. Could definitely do 2 or 3 more. So I'm going to stick the rest timer on. So I've got a couple of goals, obviously. One is the training. So like, I've not really had like the itch to train that I usually have. The other is filming all the exercises, all the angles to find out which ones look the best. So for recording stuff, then I have the standard operating procedure of you put this here for this exercise, this looks best, whatever. So I don't think this one's going to be great because the light's there. So it's probably lighting up the garage door, which doesn't exactly look tidy. But something I heard, I've heard it from a few places, so I don't know where the source is. But it made like a light bulb go off in my head. So I'd been thinking about like being like full time back into like powerlifting training and stuff when like that's just silly. My legs just can't handle it, and there's no point in pushing things that hard that soon anyway. And then it's like, oh, hypertrophy stuff, and just my mind is automatically going to the most extreme version of things. And then it's like, no, training needs to take a bit of a backseat to business stuff, because at the minute, I'm in a stage of stabilization. The next phase, the next plan, like in the coming weeks, is a stage of growth again. So then I'm like, well, maybe I should train a lot less. So then I swing from one extreme to the other of like, I'll do 6 sessions a week to like, I'll do 1 session a week. It's like they're both quite extreme. I even consider like 3 sessions a week. What tends to happen if I do just 3 sessions a week is I'll miss days because I'm like, well, I'll just do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that defeats the whole point of like spreading it out. So the 4 sessions a week seems like a nice balance. But the term I heard that I really liked was a business athlete. So it sounds a bit douchey. But so people were talking about how they train to improve their business, and whilst I'm not training to improve my business, that is a good way of thinking about it, of what training will improve my output with work and the other stuff that I want to do. So for me, strength training is what I enjoy. And then just training 3 times a week, I realistically will probably only rehab my quads 3 times a week if I train 3 times a week, because they're at the point now where I need the load. So I wanted the frequency of the quads, the training, stuff that's going to make me feel better, all that stuff combined. And the conclusion I've kind of come to is I'm training quite late on the evening, because I know the time I start training, I've got a fixed time, then I need to go, and I've told Rachel I'll pick her up from work, so she's a personal trainer at a gym, so I'll go there to finish off my session, do my rehab, so I need to be there by a fixed time. So I've kind of ended up using her as my accountability. Oh, should have held that pause for longer at the end of the last rep. So that was set number 2 of 2. I really like having the app on the iPad, because what I'd been doing is the app works great on the phone that you're on, but on my old phone, nothing works well. So then I could either use the app or Spotify or anything else, like one thing at a time. Whereas this is so fast on here now. So the next one is going to be an AMRAP with 8 kilos. Just looking back, peak strength on this, I've done 135 for 1. I've done 100 for set. I've done 105 for 5, 110 for 5. Ooh, that's beefy. Yeah, the best set I've done on this is 110 for 5. So I'm nowhere near that strength at the minute. So that's what I mean about like, there's no reason to like rush the strength, because it'll come back just by virtue of time. So I'm going to drop down to 8 kilos now. Oh, you see that, right? Oh, that was like, if you'd have just seen rep 9, I would have been like, I can do 3 more. At rep 10, I got there, and I bet it was over in like 0.01 seconds. It felt like I was there for about a minute. Not a minute, but it felt like a proper grind there. That was like instant death of tricep. That was all right. I mean, obviously you always want more reps, but 10 at 80, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add only 2.5 kilos next week, so about 87.5 for sets. I'm going to stick with 2 sets of 8, right? And then 82 for an AMRAP. If I get 10, I know that I can both recover and adapt from the training because my performance has gone up. If I do 82 and I only get 4, then that means that I haven't adapted to it. So that's too much work. It could be not enough work, but like it's not enough work. It's like 2 sets. So that's the rationale there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the gym for this. And the reason for that is, remember what I just said about the time-bound stuff. So I'm going to head to the gym. I don't know how much stuff I'll film, if any, just because of the way the gym's laid out. But what I'm going to do is strict press behind the head, low incline dumbbell press, a machine fly, some curls, and then leg extensions and leg extension isometric holds. I'm going to go there now because when I'm there, if I get finished early, fine, but I don't want to be late for picking Rach up and have her sort of stood around outside because the gym actually closes when she finishes work, so I need to go and pick her up then. So anyway, I will either see you in like 7 seconds, or I'll be done and I will see you tomorrow. If you've watched this far and you've not subscribed, press the subscribe button. Go buy all my stuff. Go to 14strong.com. The next cohort's going to start in a couple of weeks, I think. I haven't decided yet. Oh, there's all sorts of business stuff I've not talked about yet. So at the minute, because I'm still just chatting nonsense about the training, there's loads of other stuff that I've actually got to talk about now, where I didn't think I did, but I think it was just, I've been ill on and off the last few weeks and finally got some antibiotics, and like within like 3 days, I feel like a new person. It's great. So, yeah, I will see you soon. Take care.